Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com, proving to you once again that I have to sell watches that sell not necessarily what I like personally. There is a Spinnaker watch that I have been avoiding like the plague ever since it came out, and they always say to me, hey Mark, why don't you sell this model? It does really well, and I'm like, no, there's no way it does really well. Well, I finally succumbed to their peer pressure and got in a bunch of the models. I actually, on purpose, did not even look at one yet. So I'm going to unbox it and I'm going to give you my impressions as they happen on the fly. For my own wrist check today, my San Martin, or San Martin, I don't know how to pronounce it, with that cool faded orange dial and blue bezel. And on my other wrist, Islander Calabro purple dial, white rubber strap, accompanied me on a recent cross-country solo flight that I did in pursuit of my PPL. So we're getting there, slowly but surely. Anyway, let's check this thing out. So we are talking about the monstrous, not monstrosity, hopefully just monstrous, Spinnaker Piccard. It is a 45mm watch, so it is kind of large, though not crazy big. But the thickness is insane at 21mm thick, which is nearly half of its diameter, kind of like an over square car engine or something. So, as I said in the opening, I really haven't seen, I guess I've seen them, I guess I lied a bit, right? I've seen them at shows and stuff, but I've never really gotten totally hands-on. So I will unwrap this with you. And in case right now you're looking, you're like, oh, Mark, it doesn't look that bad. Dun, 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 dun. What the heck is that? Let us find out. I'll rip off the wrapping, and I'll meet you back here. So here we go, the Spinnaker Piccard. I'm going to show you three today. I have a black dial here. I have a skeleton that was released, I want to say last month in August. And then I have a Meteorite dial that was literally just released, I think last week or so. But all told, there's maybe 7 or 8 in the current collection. And if I do understand correctly, there are more coming, more new, look at that, isn't that ridiculous? More new releases on the way. So let's talk about the watch specs, and then we'll get a little bit more into why this thing is so damn thick. So it's running on a Seiko NH35 movement, so nothing super special there, but it is a screw down crown, of course, right? It better be. Hand winds, hacks, 40 hours of power reserve, 24 joules, blah, blah, blah. One click out will change the date. There it goes. You see the date at the 3 o'clock. Okay. So it is 45mm, as I said, in diameter. It is a scant 21mm from top to bottom, and 52 on the lug tip to lug tip. So I would say just from the length and width perspective, not tremendous. Big, but not tremendous. It's this one that's crazy. You have a nice screw down case back, and there we go. You can see the little Spinnaker logo, Spinnaker, and then the logo of, I guess, what is an underwater submersible. Pretty cool looking, nice relief done. Let's see, the bracelet is 22mm, so looking at a 22mm lug. And it is solid, solid link, solid end link. Screws, is it screws or is it pushers? Let's see, it is looking like pushers to me. Oh no, I see arrows. They are pushers for sure. The clasp is a 3-position micro clasp, and is there a diver's extension? This I'm actually curious about. Thank goodness, yes, there is a diver's extension right here in the clasp. I was getting a little worried about that one. So 22mm. It's funny, it is a negative end link bracelet, but because of the thickness and the overall beef of it, you'll see they don't articulate fully in. I mean, yeah, sure, it's going in enough for most smaller wrists, but it's not going in as far as you would normally expect it to. And the weight, 250 grams. And lastly, the water resistance. The water resistance is 550 meters. So we'll discuss that in a second. I apologize. Obviously, dome crystal is making it difficult for me to get a clear shot of it, but I am just twisting and turning and showing it to you, and all the visual aberrations that happen as a function of. So what I think you're seeing there, that's the chapter ring reflecting on the inside of the dome. It's obviously not a bubble at the top of the crystal. At least I don't think it is. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But nah, I think you're just seeing this. Yeah, because you can see the Spinnaker letters reflected there off the chapter ring there. So there's a lot of little tricks of the eye that are going around here. So Spinnaker, and then we have the water resistance at the bottom, 550 meters automatic. The date to me is kind of in an odd place. I guess that's just where it lays on the movement, and because the case is so bulky, it almost gets clipped by the chapter ring. But I guess what they've done from a design standpoint is made it look like the frame of the date actually comes out of the chapter ring and wraps back in. So, kind of, dealing with within the constraints of what the movement is. The bezel itself is 120 click. It is very nice, unidirectional ratcheting bezel. So as I mentioned, I'll show you the other ones. Oh, there was obviously a quick release, helium escape valve on the side for saturation dive, which I don't think people would really take the saturation dive, but you can read on the chapter ring, it says helium release valve. At the bottom it says 300 fathoms, so it's a fathom, 6 feet, so 1,800 feet, 550 meters. Yeah, I guess it all works. Out. I said before Spinnaker is reflected. It's not. I guess it's fathoms. You can read it right there. Pretty cool. So on the crystal itself, so 550 meters. That is deep. That is awesome. But that's not why the crystal is so thick. They did this simply as a nod to history of the bathyscape watches that did have to survive, 5,000-10,000 meters depth, and they needed those big bulbous crystals. 550 meters, we obviously don't need a crystal like this. I sell watches that are 1,000 meters of water resistance that are flat sapphire. Take a Squale 50 Atmos, for example, super thin, 500 meters of water resistance. No doubt this crystal can probably support the 5 or 10,000 meters. I'm guessing it does look fairly beefy. However, there's more ingress points for water, or ingress points or breakage points than just the crystal. You have the sealing of the crown, of course, and you have the sealing of the case back, which I'm guessing on these are fairly normal. So the only thing I don't think I mentioned is retail price. This guy is retail price of $550, and I'm not going to discuss street price because it does fluctuate with time. So that watch I just showed you comes in, this one comes in black, comes in green, and it comes in blue. Yeah, that's it. So now here's the skeleton. The skeleton comes in two different versions, a green one and a black one. Let's wind her up and get her going. So it's got a greenish chapter ring. Now we're looking at a Seiko from the NH35. We are now at an NH70, which is their skeletonized movement. And you can just see the size of the case and the chapter ring by how much of the balance wheel is actually visible in this. It's pretty cool. It's pretty amazing. And obviously, there is not an exhibition case back, even though it's a skeleton dial. I guess to keep with the whole sense it's supposed to be a true tool diver. They've moved some of the font off the chapter ring on this one, and it is, you have dots now for your lume plots as instead of on the dial, so it doesn't take away from that beautiful, beautiful skeletonized plate that's over the dial. So this is same price, skeleton version. All the other specs on this are going to be the same. And the last one though is really cool. It is the Meteorite version. And the Meteorite version. So this one's a bit more pricey than the others at $1,200 MSRP. It retains the same characteristics, diameter, weight, size, bracelet, clasp, etc. But now we have this beautiful, beautiful Meteorite. It's the same Meteorite that a lot of other companies make their dials from. So if you're comparing it to Meteorite and other brands at $1,200 MSRP, it's probably a decent, I believe it is a decent price. Somebody like Phoebus probably does it for, a little bit cheaper, but it's a pretty cool watch. And I would say that with the play that I'm playing around, with the play that the crystal does to the dial, it's pretty cool with the Meteorite to kind of expand it, dilate it, distort it. It looks pretty nifty. So this one is, the Meteorites are limited to 50 pieces. I have a couple of them, so why don't we finish it up with loom shots, right? So we'll do, I'll just do these two plain. I'll do all three, why not? I have all three right here. Might as well do all three. 1, 2, 3. They look fine, they look great, super luminova. You know what's crazy is that I illuminate them with a UV light, you know, before a shot like this. And if I didn't go dead on at 90 degrees perpendicular to the dial, I guess the index of refraction or the refraction of the sapphire threw the light to a different part of the dial, so it actually did not light up a part of the dial until I went dead on. So just a testament to actually how thick that sapphire crystal is. So here it is on my 6.5, 6 3/4 inch wrist. It's a big watch, 45 millimeters. So I have worn larger watches. My JSAR's JDD is bigger than that. Below the bone, above the bone, but just that. The 52 lug to lug, I guess still manageable, but man, the bulk of it, it's kind of crazy. But hey, to each their own. If you like it, then you like it. And that's going to do it for these 3 monstrous pieces. Monstrosities, monstrous, I don't know, what do you guys think? I do believe them when they tell me that they sell, and I'm sure there's a market for them. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about them. This has been Mark from LongNotWatch.com. Showing the Spinnaker Piccard. Did I ever mention that this is the Piccard? It was written on the box, but I may have never even said it. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Questions, comments, anything else you want to say, put it down below. I'll be sure to address it as soon as I can. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.